Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a huge question. What does AI really mean for the future of your job? Is it coming to help you or to replace you? Well, as you're about to see, the answer is pretty complicated.
All right, let's just jump right in, starting with the kinds of statements that are fueling all this anxiety. This isn't some vague prediction. This is a direct memo from the CEO of Amazon, one of the biggest employers on the planet. And let's be real, reducing our total corporate workforce, that's just corporate speak for cutting jobs. And look, that memo wasn't just empty words. It was followed by this number, 14,000. That's how many corporate layoffs Amazon announced right around the same time the company was telling everyone it was ramping up spending on artificial intelligence. And this right here, this is what we're calling the layoff investment paradox. See, companies aren't cutting jobs in spite of their AI spending. They're cutting jobs because of it. It's a strategic choice. You can see it right here. The scales are tipping. Money is moving away from people's paychecks and straight into AI systems. And the pressure isn't just internal. It's not just about a company wanting to automate. For some businesses, the threat is an external one. It's a competitor that has a more powerful AI. Just look at the education company Chegg. Their entire business model was basically turned upside down almost overnight, forcing them into this massive, painful restructuring. Get this. Chegg had to slash 45% of its entire workforce. And why? Well, they pointed the finger directly at Google. They blamed these huge drops in traffic that happened right after Google rolled out its new AI-powered summaries. It basically made Chegg's main product obsolete in a flash. So these individual stories are, well, they're pretty scary, right? But what does it all mean for the big picture, for the whole economy? Let's zoom out a bit and really look at the mechanics of what's going on in the labor market. Well, economists actually have a term for this kind of transition. They call it the J-curve effect. And this is super important to understand because what it basically means is things are probably going to get worse before they get better. You see that dip in the J? That's a period of real pain and job loss, but it's followed by a recovery and hopefully even more jobs than we started with. And this is where it gets really interesting because it breaks down the three big forces that are battling it out to shape that curve. First, you've got displacement. That's AI automating tasks that people used to do. But at the exact same time, you have this second force, reinstatement, where AI actually creates totally new kinds of jobs. And then there's this third thing, the productivity effect, where AI makes companies so much more efficient that demand goes up, creating even more jobs. So the big question is, which one of these is going to win? And this chart, wow, it really shows you the sheer scale of what we're talking about. This is not a small tweak to the job market. We could see 92 million jobs displaced by 2030, but also 170 million new ones created. This isn't a gentle shift. It's a massive churning wave hitting the entire global workforce. So why is this happening on such a massive scale? Well, look at this number. In developed countries, a staggering 60% of all jobs are exposed to AI in some way. 60%. That means over half of us are in jobs that will either be helped by AI or potentially replaced by it. It's setting the stage for a gigantic transformation. Okay, so this is maybe the most important takeaway here. That J-curve, that whole transition, it's not set in stone. The data shows there are actually a few different ways this could all play out. The future isn't just going to happen to us. Where we end up is going to depend completely on the choices that we, as in businesses, governments, all of us, make right now. Let's start with the best case scenario. We're calling it the augmentation era. In this future, AI mostly acts like a helpful co-pilot. It's a tool that makes us better at our jobs, boosts our productivity, and because of that, it actually ends up creating a boom in new jobs. And the result? It's incredible for workers. This path projects a massive net gain of 120 million jobs globally by 2040. This is the future where all those good things, productivity and new job creation, totally crush the job displacement side of things. Okay, now for scenario 2. This is kind of the business as usual forecast. It's the most likely path if we just keep doing what we're doing. And you can see we might end up in a better place eventually, but the road to get there is going to be broken. We're talking about huge social disruption and massive skills gaps. Just a really rocky road for millions and millions of people. So, in the end, we still get more jobs, a net gain of 70 million, but that number hides a whole lot of pain. This is the J-curve in action, and that dip at the beginning, It's very, very real.
All right, now for the one we really need to worry about, the displacement shock. In this scenario, the race to automate is just fast and brutal. Companies deploy AI mainly to replace people, and it all happens so quickly that new jobs just can't be created fast enough to fill the gap. And the outcome here? It's bleak. We're talking about severe, long-term unemployment on a massive scale, a future with a net loss of 110 million jobs around the world. This is the future we have to do everything in our power to avoid. So that's it. Those are the possible futures on the table. Which brings us to the biggest question of all. How do we steer this ship? How do we aim for that augmentation era and not crash into the displacement shock? So what can we actually do? Well, for governments, it has to be about getting ahead of the problem, not just reacting to it. First, they need to get their hands on real-time data so they can see how jobs are changing as it's happening. Second, we need to rethink the social safety net with new ideas like wage insurance to soften the blow for workers who lose their jobs. And finally, governments have to fund new, faster ways for people to learn the AI skills that companies actually need. And for companies, it's all about a mindset shift. Instead of that knee-jerk reaction to just fire people and hire new ones, the really smart strategy is to reskill and redeploy. That means investing in your current employees, redesigning jobs so that humans and AI can collaborate, and letting people focus on the stuff we're still best at: judgment, empathy, and big picture strategy. And look, this isn't just some nice, fluffy idea. It's about the bottom line. A huge majority of HR leaders, we're talking 88%, already say it's cheaper to retrain the people you have than to fire them and go hunting for new talent. It's just a smarter way to do business. So, when you look at all the data, one thing becomes crystal clear. The future of work isn't written yet. It's not some destiny that's going to happen to us. It's a choice. The policies that governments enact and the strategies that companies adopt right now are going to decide whether AI becomes a tool that augments all of us or a machine of relentless automation. The choice is ours.